splendiferous piece of culinary heaven in front of me. And instead of putting on a recording and wolfing it down like you just did, I'm going to wait. I've just done a little bit of a sampling so we can talk to our guests and let everyone listening understand the wonderful things we're doing. As I mentioned, we're talking now to Susan Logier-Robert from Frederick's Pastries and let's see, I'm going to make sure we get you ready to go here, Susan. Nice to have you with us this afternoon. From Bedford and Amherst. And now, recently, in the fall, you opened up in North Andover as well.
That's correct.
So tell people a little bit about the history of Frederick's Pastries. You're second generation. How did the family get involved in this business? Where did it all start?
Well, it all started with my parents. We've been in business 31 years now. My father is an executive pastry chef, a member of the American Academy of Chefs. He's taught at CIA, Johnson & Wales, all the schools.
Okay.
Ended up being in Nashua, New Hampshire. He opened the culinary arts department at Nashua High School and was teaching that for many years, and started Frederick's Pastries in our garage as a wholesale business to sort of supplement the income. I'm the youngest of four, so it was tough just being on the teacher's salary, as they tell me. So,
my brother was a teacher. I understand. Even tougher now, so that's understandable. Now, are all your siblings in the business, or are you the one that kind of like inherited the what? The hat? What do you inherit? I guess the ladle.
Okay, the whip.
Inherit the ladle.
The whip.
But I think that's great when it's a family business and it is a tradition there. And it sounds like you couldn't have anyone in a better position to teach you than your dad. First of all, as a teacher, and because of his background.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. All of my siblings at some point in time have been a part of the business, but now that my parents are fully retired, it is me, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I have 3 kids of my own now, and you can see the sparkle in some of their eyes to get into the business. They're still young, but they're all older than I was when it started in my garage. I was 8, so.
How old are they?
They are 12, 13, and 15.
I was a waiter in my family's restaurant at 15. They were too young. You could do that. Now, when you first started out, what were the original offerings? You said you started at a wholesale level, and then the first retail operation was in what town?
Amherst.
Amherst. And at first, what were the initial offerings?
Well, when they very first started, my father and my mother would make anything someone would ask for. It didn't matter. It was bread. It didn't matter. Anything from the
custom order pastry. That's so wrong. Good for them.
So it took them a little while to figure out, exactly what their niche was going to be, and they narrowed it down to being cakes.
Yeah.
So when we originally opened, we were mostly wholesale cakes to hotels and restaurants and whatnot, wedding cakes. And then when we moved into Amherst, New Hampshire, the whole focus became more retail than wholesale. It was probably 50-50, and now we're like 90% retail, 10% wholesale. So
I don't blame you.
We've done a complete flip, pretty much.
If you can go the retail route, why not? And do some
more
wholesale
control over the quality of it when it's in retail versus wholesaling too.
Oh, that's a good point. There's no middle person that way. You know exactly the condition of the pastry or the cakes when you're giving it to them after that. Now, you brought in something today, and I should ask you right away what you brought in, because I think that's a perfect example of what people can find when they go to any of the Frederick's Pastries.
Right. Today I brought you in a margarita torte.
And people are going to try and figure out in their mind what that looks like. It basically is a big vanilla cake with frosting with a margarita/lime filling. Is that pretty much it?
It's a key lime.
Yeah.
And we make a margarita mousse, and we lace the cake with margarita mix.
Oh, I hope my
and so
ladies are listening.
it's multi-layers of cake.
Can I drive home now? do I need to get a cab? Call a cab?
We'll sober you up faster later on in the day, I promise you. Just wonderfully light.
It is very refreshing.
Wonderfully light, as you're saying, that balance, the key lime gives it a little bit of a